Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia. And we're on episode 4 today of Dawson's Creek, titled Discovery.
And the synopsis.
Nope. Aired February 10th, 1998. And now,
And the synopsis is
Dawson turns to Jen for comfort after learning about his mom's affair with her co-anchor Bob, as well as Joey's knowledge of it. But he regrets doing so when Jen tells him some of her own problems involving her promiscuity.
what's the word?
Promiscuity.
Oh no, you just said
That word. And the real reason her parents forced her to move to
problematic.
No. And the real reason her parents forced her to move to Cape Side. Meanwhile, Pacey and Tamara continued to tempt fate with their affair, which was compromised because Dawson accidentally videotaped it. Wonder what happened to that tape. But we start the episode off with Joey and Dawson back in Dawson's room, looking at a tape of Dawson's film. Jen's on the screen. Dawson's all into Jen's beauty, while Joey goes on that she can see Jen's future in her face, going on a long description of Jen's future, like she spent days thinking about it, but with no mention of Dawson in the picture. That seems odd to think that much about the girl you're jealous of because your best friend likes her and you like him, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Like she went way into detail about it. Dawson goes on saying he's struggling to get a present for his parents' anniversary. Joey suggests separate vacations. An older woman appears on the TV now, making it obvious that she's having sex, but only her face is shown. Dawson realizes he left his camera rolling in the ruins.
Again.
Mm-hmm. As Joey and Dawson watch, they begin to recognize the woman as Miss Jacobs. The theme song plays. Now we find Joey, Dawson, Jen, and Pacey at Joey's family's restaurant. Dawson and Joey are telling Jen and Pacey about the tape of Miss Jacobs. Hearing about this makes Pacey nervous, but kind of relieved to know his face wasn't shown on the tape.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. He tells Dawson he wants to see the tape. Dawson walks Jen back to her grandparents' house, and Jen hesitates to kiss Dawson with her grandmother watching them from the window.
She was so creepy, just like watching them. And then did you see her face?
Yeah.
It was so...
Yeah. She decides not to care about what her grandmother thinks and kisses Dawson. And Jen walks
Good job, Jen.
Yeah. And then Jen walks inside the house into the kitchen where her grandmother mentions her worry that Jen might be making the same mistakes that she made in New York.
Just because she kissed Dawson.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. And Jen says it was only a kiss.
And it was.
Yep. Dawson walks into his room, finding Pacey frantically going through his tapes. Dawson gives him the tape of Miss Jacobs, so he'll stop messing with a stack of tapes in his room. Yeah, he was just going through all of them.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Pacey admits that he got the girl this time, and he's the guy in the tape with Miss Jacobs. He tells Dawson not to tell anyone because the tape could ruin his life, but really, it would ruin Tamara's as it should.
I know. It wouldn't ruin his. I mean, just that it would be around school that he slept with the teacher, but she's the one that would go, bye-bye, which is what we want.
Yeah. Now, Joey and Dawson are out in town shopping for Dawson's parents' anniversary gift until Dawson spots his mom in a store with her co-worker, Bob. He's trying on clothes for work. Dawson's mom is helping him. Joey glares at her the whole time. Dawson got the impression of Bob being a good man, while Joey says he was right the first time Bob is a tool, and this is after they do end up talking to them in a store. Jen is about to leave to go see Dawson, but tells her grandmother to say what's on her mind. She goes on saying Dawson only wants one thing, while Jen says he's not like that at all. Her grandmother mentions Joey climbing to Dawson's bedroom window again.
That Potter girl.
Exactly. That was funny. And Jen says nothing is going on between him and Joey. Miss Jacobs is having coffee, or tea, I don't know, outside a restaurant when Pacey walks up and joins her. They talk about which book to read next in class when Pacey goes to hold Miss Jacobs' hand.
Why would he sit with her in public? Oh, my, okay. I'm going on a rant because anybody can see them.
Yep.
Anybody can see them.
Yep, in broad daylight.
Think nobody is going to.
Yeah.
It's a small town. Okay, everybody knows who everybody is. That's just...
Yep, so he holds her hand, but she pulls away because, like you said, they're in public and could be seen by anyone.
I can't with the storytelling. Somebody would know. In real life, somebody would know.
Yeah. But then again, a student having lunch with his teacher is suspicious enough.
Exactly. They're not in school. If I saw one of our classmates out with a teacher and they weren't related,
Right.
I would think of something.
Yep. Dawson and Jen are reviewing her scene in the film. Dawson talks about doing ADR to make her sound better. Dawson and Jen begin making out on his bed, and he starts pulling her down onto the bed, but Jen sits up and says that they don't have to do anything right now. At Dawson's mom's studio, they record Jen's scream for the movie. And then in the hallway later during a break, Jen and Dawson see his mom kiss Bob a distance away.
Oh, I had some with that one too. Why would you kiss at work?
Yeah.
Now all your coworkers can know.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure she brought up her husband during conversation at work with
Everyone
somebody.
knows she's married.
Yeah.
So if one of your coworkers,
is she wearing a ring too?
I
didn't
don't know.
think of
Everybody
that.
knows she's married and has a kid.
Yeah.
Remember, she's letting her kid come to work.
Right.
So
yeah.
everybody knows that she is married and has a kid. So why are you making out with your coworker at work? It doesn't make any sense. Right. Anybody can see. Once again, here we go.
Dawson is in complete shock by this. Now he's sitting outside on a bench with Jen, and he's just staring blankly out into nothing and silent, processing what he just witnessed. Jen is trying to let him know that they can talk about it if he wants, but he has to talk to someone. Of course, he ends up talking to Joey, who knows his parents better than anyone. And later on, I'm sure that Jen was kind of hurt that he just, he couldn't say anything about the affair, what he just witnessed.
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't talk to her, and
but he just met her, so it's you want to go to the person that knows you the longest and knows your family like their own, so it's understandable.
Yeah. And then so he does go talk to Joey, and he was going off saying that he was furious, but he was just joking about them having an affair. He wasn't joking. He was serious before too.
No, I mean, he was obsessed with that.
Yeah. And then he does want to tell his dad, but Joey says that's not a good idea. And Dawson says, but we didn't know, right? Meaning him and Joey. After her silence, he catches on that she did know. He asks why she didn't say anything, and she said because she was too occupied with Jen, that he's been too occupied with Jen, and that he would be mad at her for telling him, and that she thought he would have noticed.
Do you think she was a bad friend for not telling him?
I mean,
because this is something big.
Yeah, I mean, like she could have just blurted it out.
Because this could ruin their marriage.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, she could have, but it depends on how long she kind of kept it to herself too. We don't really know how long exactly because the time framing in the show isn't very accurate.
Right. It's just, I don't know if you can really blame her. I mean, do you really want to get involved in their family drama?
Right.
And then Dawson hating you forever. Because he's obsessed with everything. So he would hold that against you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, so Dawson says that she lied to him, and she says she was just trying to be his friend and didn't know how to tell him, which does make sense.
Right.
Makes sense, yeah.
Because I don't know how I would tell a friend.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, I also wouldn't confront their parent. I would just keep my mouth shut and act like I didn't, see anything.
Yeah. But Dawson is mad and said there's nothing to say because her actions say enough. And he says, have a nice life as he storms off.
Have a nice life, Dawson. That's what she should have said.
Yeah. Now, Miss Leary comes home from work. It seems Dawson wants to bring up what he saw earlier, but he can't see it. His mom knows something is wrong, so she guesses that one of the women in his life has his head spinning. He answers something like that.
Yeah, yours.
Later, we see him knock on the door of Jen's grandparents' house. Her grandmother answers the door and if there's anything she can help him with, and he said two things. One, he knows that she thinks he's some kind of sex-crazed teenager who wants to corrupt Jen, but that's not the case. And then two, he's scared to pick up Jen. I thought that was funny the way he said that.
Yeah, she just hates Dawson.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying because they've been neighbors for how long?
Yeah. Exactly.
And what has he really done that's bad besides hang out with Joey at his parents' house? It's not like they go anywhere.
Yeah. Now he's outside in the yard with Jen talking about his mom's affair. Now he can talk to her about it. It seems like after he talked to Joey, and then that didn't turn out well. And she admits that she was hurt when he couldn't say a word to her. And she was sure that he went to go see Joey. And he did. But Dawson asked Jen to always be honest with him, saying secrets destroy. So no secrets between them ever. Jen says, don't you think that in certain situations there are things that people just don't want to know? Talking about herself, and asks Dawson if he ever thought about why she came to live here 2 months ago. Now that was the thing, like so the time frame. Because last episode, we know Miss Jacobs said that her affair, yeah, or she said it, yeah, a couple weeks, a few weeks, and now Jen said 2 months. She's been here for 2 months. But the affair started, yeah, the affair started the same time too.
So
Jen came into town.
That was the next episode gonna be like 5 months from now?
Yeah, that made me confused. But anyways, yeah. So she's like, "Did you ever think of why I moved here all of a sudden?"
Well, all of a sudden. I mean, all of a sudden is like right now, not 2 months ago.
Right. Yeah, so he points out that she did say she moved here to help her grandmother with her grandfather, but she says her grandmother is a nurse and doesn't need help. So she takes a deep breath and says, "Honesty, right?" So she confides in Dawson and says that the cliches about teenagers in New York are true. They grow up too fast, have sex too young. Dawson took this as Jen's parents wanting to get her away from kids like that. Jen says she was kids like that. Next part, boyfriend, right? He says. He says, "Yeah, but not just him." She continues by saying, "I know the timing is off, but this is at your request, and we should be honest, and you should know who you're dating. You're okay with this, right?" And he says, "Yeah," but his body language doesn't show it.
Well, before that, when she told him why,
Mm-hmm.
and then, she was like, "Don't you want to know?" And he was like, "Well, you said you're helping your grandma take care of your grandpa."
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Oh, well, my grandma's a nurse." I wouldn't think anything of it because her grandma's old.
Right. Yeah,
so she might need help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a nurse, but she might need help, feeding them or something. So I wouldn't think anything of it if I was Dawson. Right. Plus, how much, yeah, I know they're neighbors, but how much does he really know the Graham? Right. Because, it's not like they hang out. Mm-hmm. So I would think the same thing he would think. You're helping your grandma. Mm-hmm. And that's it. So I don't, it didn't really make any sense.
Right.
But then he goes on to get mad that she, about her history.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then it just made me mad.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to change and, it's like he's not letting her.
Right. Yeah, we see that the next day at school. Jen meets Dawson at his locker, or not the locker, the hallway. And Jen wants Dawson to hang out with her, but he makes up excuses why he can't. She can tell this is from what she told him yesterday and begins to bring it up, but he interrupts her and he says he has to get to class and he'll talk to her later. Next, Pacey walks into Miss Jacobs' classroom demanding to know if he's serious about him or not by asking if someone was being intimate with someone and they are being intimate with another person, they should let both people know. He asks if she likes him or Mr. Gold. Tamara answers that she's not Mr. Gold's type, and Pacey, being a little slow here, it takes him a second to catch on, but once he did, he said loudly, "Mr. Gold is gay?" Like, the way he just shouted that was kind of funny. But Pacey actually thought there was something going on between him and Mrs. Jacobs, just because she didn't hold Pacey's hand at the restaurant. She reassured him that it was because someone could have seen them, not Mr. Gold.
Then why did she let him sit down?
I know that.
Why didn't she just get up? Okay, she knows he's not going to leave, so get up and go away.
Right.
That would have solved everything.
Mm-hmm. Now, between another class, Jen walks up to Dawson again at his locker, and she wanted to ask him again if he was okay with what she told him. He says he's fine with it. It's
clearly
in the past.
Not.
Yep. Over and done with. And if he didn't, there's something he could do about it. And he says, if you want me to say something, I don't know what it is. Jen says you could tell her why he's been avoiding her or what's behind the look in his eyes, or they need a break because he doesn't seem to know her and maybe he never really did. And she asks
if
she
just learning all about her.
Right. And she asks if she left anything out. He's silent, and so she walks away.
And your past does not define you. She's trying to change. She's only 15.
Right.
It's not like she's like 25, 35. She's 15.
Yeah. I think he just needs time to process it because
then he should just say that.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, I'm cool with everything. No, you're not. Not in the look you're given. Yeah. In the standoffish. I mean, just be honest. I need some time. I'll talk to you when I'm ready. Right. And then that should solve everything.
Yeah. And he is a virgin, so now he knows that they're not at the same level, so that makes a difference too. That's going through his head. So, do you think that's what it is, too?
I just think it's Dawson. Being Dawson.
So later in the day,
remember, he's really dramatic, so.
Yeah, that too. Later in the day, Dawson tells Pacey what happened, and this is at work. And Pacey just gives him the worst advice because he thinks he knows everything about sex now that he's had it once. He goes on by saying Jen is telling Dawson she's not a virgin is her giving him an in and that she wants to have
Yeah,
sex
he's
with
like, oh,
him.
yeah, that's so cool. I wouldn't be upset.
Which is incredibly misleading, but he does point out that this makes Dawson scared, which he is. He says that the Jen he made up in his head isn't real. In his movie, she can be who he wants her to be, but in real life, the script has to get thrown out.
Well, and you wonder if guys really think of that.
Maybe.
Like if the guy is a virgin, does he, question it, or is it just like cool, like Pacey?
I don't know. I think it's just everybody's different, But yeah. So that was the only time Pacey's making sense is about that Dawson can't rely on his vision of Jen in his head to her actual self
Well,
in real
yeah,
life.
everybody changes, and she's in a little town now, so things might get better for her.
Yeah. Dawson says he'd rather not have to deal with real life's plot twists like his
Then
mom's
just keep
affair.
watching movies.
Yeah. Ending the scene that he's not going to tell his mom but his dad about it. In the living room, Dawson tries to find the moment to tell his dad about what his mom has been up to, but loses the moment when his mom walks in the room. She leaves, but Dawson doesn't want to ruin the night of their anniversary, so he says, have a great time.
Well, he tried to.
Yeah.
Did you think on their anniversary was the best time to tell his dad?
No, definitely not.
Me either. Just let him have their night.
Yeah.
And, say it tomorrow.
Yeah, so he made the right
choice. But he was only because the mom came out or something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he probably would have.
Right. Now, Joey's at her family's restaurant.
What's it called? I'm just kidding.
Don't know yet. And then Jen walks in and says she wants to talk to her, since Joey is an expert in all things about Dawson. And once Jen gives her the reason why she needs advice about him, that has Joey's attention.
Ooh.
She asked before she said she was too busy. Joey says Dawson pouts when things don't go his way and sees things in black and white.
I mean, she has a point.
Yep. Anything else confuses him, and she doesn't envy her on what she has to deal with. I think that's only halfway true.
Yeah. She would love to deal with him.
Yeah. Jen asks what she would do if she were her. Joey responds with, same as you, get mad, confused, ask people for advice, and wait for him to grow up and come around.
That might be never.
Yeah, but says not to go by what she says because she would be stupid enough to wait forever for him. Again, a little
nod.
Yeah, to her liking him. And that is the most honest thing she said for a while, too. So Jen ends up staying with Joey at the restaurant while she closes. Pacey, now was really weird to me. Pacey is at Mrs. Jacobs' house, not Miss Jacobs' house late at night. At her house. Late at night. I'm sure he used a cover story saying he's at Dawson's, but where are his parents, his guardian at this point? No one's found. Yeah, no one's checking up on him, So he's just doing whatever he wants.
Well, isn't that all he ever does?
Yeah. So he asks the men that Tamara has been with. She mentions there was one in high school and not her high school. That puts a huge smile on Pacey's face.
But I mean, to your question of why he's there, she could have coworkers at her house. How does he know who's there and who's not to just go to her house?
Right. Or I don't know, someone could just drop by too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Anybody could be there or show up. So why would you show up?
Right.
What you can do? Oh, I need to turn in my homework. Not gonna fly.
Right. Jen ends up venting to her grandfather about Dawson and her grandmother's opinion about her past. But he's sleeping, so she gets no reaction or words of comfort. But I'm sure just telling him means a lot.
When she was telling Dawson about her grandpa, I kind of forgot he was still alive. Because we haven't seen him. Right. So I was like, oh, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then they actually show him this episode.
Right. Now, Dawson is back at the ruins alone, looking up at the moon. Joey walks up to talk to him about Jen. She lets him know Jen came by to talk to her about their conversations about her past. Dawson says he doesn't want to talk to her because he's not sure if they're friends still.
So dramatic.
I know.
I mean, really? Oh, right. We're not friends anymore.
Yeah, he says things are different now and they're not getting along the way they used to.
Yeah, it's called You Have a Possible Girlfriend. And obviously things are going to change. If, Joey had a boyfriend, things would change. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, things do change when you grow up.
Yeah.
Dawson just has to grow up.
Right. And then Dawson says, are they more? Are they less? Like him and Joey? Like, why is he questioning this all of a sudden?
Do you want to be Dawson? I mean, what's the holdup?
Yeah. Yeah. So has he been actually
thinking about it?
Yeah. While he's trying to make things perfect with Jen. Like, that's odd to mention.
Maybe inside the next film. That's what he's thinking. Yeah. Everything's all about his films.
Yep. And then Dawson takes it even further by mentioning they must be married in an alternate universe, and they've been married for 50 years. Again, random to, first he's all about Jen, and now he's talking about being married to Joey in a different universe.
And then, like, the look he gives her. Yeah. Hey, we've been married in another life.
Yeah. They go back and forth describing the scene.
It's like, I thought you weren't friends. Now all of a sudden you're married?
Yeah. Yeah, they describe the scene, very non-platonic of them to talk about. Joey adds that she probably had a wonderful time until the end.
Well, and Joey's all excited. Oh, we were married and we had this and that.
Right. She walks off with him saying, me too. But she's too far away for her to hear that.
And then there was a bug on his shirt.
Yep. At the 3-minute and 40-ish mark that's left, there is a bug shown on Dawson's right shoulder.
Yeah, right before she smiles at him.
Yeah, quick moment. But at the very end, Joey stops and looks back at him and says to herself that their friendship is headed to the Smithsonian, meaning that their friendship is old news and they need to move on.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was the end of the episode.
Another short recap because there's nothing to talk about.
Right.
It's just, the storylines are just dragging on. Like, can we cut these storylines and bring something new?
Right.
I mean, I'm glad there was no Nellie.
Yeah.
That made it better. But I'm just so tired of the teacher-student relationship. I'm tired of
every plot line being about sex, one way or another.
I'm just tired of it all. I mean, can we just stop?
Right.
I think that's why it's annoying me so much. Is there's nothing new that happens. They just continue it.
Right.
I just want it to be over. Something new. Something that, like, we haven't seen before on other shows.
Right.
I get this is the 90s, but... Okay, so this is what, episode 4?
Yeah.
I would have been done watching the show by episode 4. Wouldn't you? Like, if it was this boring.
Right, yeah.
Wouldn't you have been like, I'm not watching any more of this?
Right, yeah. It's pretty boring compared to the shows I watched today. Yeah.
Exactly. It needs to be fast-paced and enjoyable.
Right.
Because nothing is drawing me in. And, okay, don't you think that the teacher looks like it could be his mom?
Yeah, especially age-wise, yeah.
Yeah. So
almost, yeah.
So nothing, it's just so creepy.
Right.
Like, what are you walking around with your son? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, she's almost, I think, 40, like late 30s at least, so yeah.
Yeah, and he's 15.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just weird. I can't watch those scenes.
Yeah. So what would you...
Well, did you have, like, a favorite part?
Oh, not really. I don't know, not really.
Was it too boring?
Yeah. What about you?
No, I'm hoping for an episode that I actually like. I'm not there yet. What would you rate it?
I don't know, maybe a 5.
Oh my gosh, you went low.
Yeah, like you said, a lot didn't really happen, so...
No, I want something. I want drama. Come on. And a lot of drama, not just one little scene of drama. Like one storyline. I need more than that. Right. And something new, fresh, exciting. I would rate it a 5 too.
Okay.
I'll be nice and give it a 5. I gave it a 5 because Nellie's not in it. I liked it better because she wasn't in it. As long as she stays off, I'm good. And then who is your best and worst character of the episode?
Best, I would say Jen, just because she's trying to be open, honest with Dawson, and that takes a lot of courage to do that, to tell him about her past.
Well, and it takes time. You can't just meet someone and tell your whole life story,
right? Because
you got to trust them first, and she now trusts him. And that's the thing. He's like, oh, well, it's like, oh, you should have told me. No, you have to get to know someone before you can tell them everything.
Right. Yep.
Okay, Dawson.
Yeah. Then for the worst, I kind of tied it with Miss Jacobs and Dawson, just because
Oh, why Dawson?
Just because the way he was reacting to
Jen.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's understandable, but he could have been, he could have been more honest. And then, at the end, he's like kind of going back and forth with Jen and Joey, like.
Well, and then are we friends? Are we not friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like, he can't make up his mind about either girl, really. So
because when she comes out, he's like, "Oh, we're not friends."
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's like, "Oh, we might be friends."
Yeah, it might be
like,
in
one scene, you are or you're not, and then you are.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Right. Yes, that's a little confusing. What about you?
I picked best was Jen because, yes, I agree with you that she is trying to now tell him everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, she feels comfortable with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she was even being honest with Joey.
Yeah.
Who hates her.
Yeah.
And she was even trying to get advice and everything. And so, yes, she was the best. And the worst was Miss Jacobs.
Yep.
Because I am just so tired of the storyline.
Yeah, me too.
I would have picked Dawson, but she was just irritating me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for her to go far, far away.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. And that is our episode.
Yep. Next time we would be talking about episode 5 titled Hurricane.
Please let it be a better episode than this one. Well, than the last 4.
Yeah, hopefully it will be. So we'll talk to you next time.
All right, you guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about this episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter at duochatpodcast and give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.